we double down on the lies. And action.
Keep fucking repeating the lie often enough and you start to believe it yourself. But we know the truth, Connor.
I'm sticking with my wording. I got myself a clapper. It's in my hands. There we go. I got myself a clapper.
I'll tell you what, for the listener, Connor has disgraced himself so much in the business. He's now been relegated to the post room.
That's true. That's true.
Fucking true. Yeah. See, that's true.
But it's not because I've disgraced myself.
It is. It is. Listen to the lies now. Justification. You're worse than my fucking ex, you are.
Am I?
Yeah.
The dead one or the alive one?
Now the fucking vagina.
The dead one or the alive
dead one? No, definitely worse than she is. Was. I was thinking about her the other day. I told you when we did that, when I went to that supermarket, and those people said, it's our country too. What the fuck? Yeah. I was with her.
Oh, were you? Well, those people must assume that life is.
I know I'm an awful human being for chuckling about the fact she's dead, but I can't help but think Holly and I have this joke because she stole a fucking bedspread from me. And anytime something bad happens to someone else, we say, shouldn't have stolen my fucking bedspread, shouldn't you?
What, to anyone or just to her?
Yeah, just to anyone. It's just it's almost like the penalty for stealing, the penalty for bad things is death, So it's just a silly joke that Holly and I have. She's very much like I am. So, but hey, it's been a fucking long week, isn't it?
Oh, very long week. Very, very fucking long week. January just doesn't want to end.
No. So we're recording this on the Friday to go out on the Monday. So this is 2 days before you hear it. And it's Mrs. EBG's birthday on Sunday. And Vicky LaBouche said, "What, are you going anywhere nice? Doing anything nice?" And no, we're not allowed. I'll make dinner for her. I make dinner. The thing is, I cook all the time anyway. I do all the fucking cooking, so it's not like it's anything special.
Are you going to do a nicer dinner?
I do a nice dinner every fucking day. I said to her, I used to do it. I mean, I cook Christmas dinner and stuff. I used to do a roast every Sunday. I said, "Do you want me to make you a roast?" "No, not really." Well, I get why. It's just not very exciting, because you're fucking
nice bit of steak from the butchers
over there to wrap up. Sorry,
nice bit of steak from the butchers or something.
Ribeye. I said to her, "Do anything you want." And what she wants to do, I've got this chicken thighs in pasta with paprika sauce. I do, and she wants that, so I'm doing that for her. And I got a fucking shitload of presents over there to wrap up. Her fucking funky present came all the way from the States. Finally got her. I ordered it probably back in November. And
is this the blanket?
It came this week. Hey?
Is this the blanket?
That's the fucking blanket, yeah.
You've been waiting on this blanket for fucking ages.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking handmade and it's like got a fucking hood and things, and she'll like that. She fucking better unless she wants a slap,
I'd fucking laugh if she's looking at it and the label says, made in China, delivered by Alibaba.
Made in China. Made in China, sent via California.
Yeah.
So it's no, I got to go shopping tomorrow morning. My fucking days. It's like the fucking Truman Show. Is it the Truman Show?
Can you not get your shopping delivered?
I suppose we could technically, but it's not worth it. It really isn't.
Why is it not worth it?
Because it just isn't. I mean, why would it be? It's
because
such an.
You don't have to go to the shops.
It's such a minor inconvenience. I mean, the shops are dead, and if I need to get to the front of a queue, I just fucking flash my colour autism section card, and I'm in. And the really cool thing is, if I'm getting dirty looks from people, I don't notice.
Is that because of the autism or the masks?
The autism. I suppose the masks would as well, but it makes me fucking laugh. All these fucking neurotypicals going, "Oh, don't like wearing masks. We can't see people's expressions." Hey, welcome to my fucking world. Been doing it for 56 years. Boot other foot, motherfuckers.
So we should suffer just because you do?
No, you should stop complaining about your suffering because we don't. Well, I don't anyway. Some do.
Lots do.
Yeah, you just get on with that, don't you? What else do you do?
put your head down, focus on what you can control. Because ultimately, John, life is fundamentally unfair.
Life is fundamentally fucking unfair. But you know what? I think we should be happy life is unfair. I don't.
Because if it wasn't unfair, there's no opportunity, really.
Well, there's no opportunity. There's no point. You know? I mean, life is unfair. This is what gets me. People say, "Oh, it's not fair," as if that's some surprise to them, or they should expect it to be any other way. And then on the other hand, you've got this complete fucking penis brains who say, "Oh no, the universe is sending you a message. The universe cares about you. The universe wants you to succeed." No, it doesn't. The universe, as far as we can tell, the universe itself is not conscious. It doesn't hate you. It doesn't love you. It's completely fucking oblivious to you. I mean, and people say people say how the universe has been made for us, especially fucking religious dickheads. We live on a very small portions of the Earth's. I mean, I think it's 1/7 or 1/8 of the Earth's surface is habitable anyway. Is land, and only a small proportion of that land is habitable. So a very small proportion, maybe 1/7, maybe 1/10 of a very small planet in a very small solar system in one galaxy. Okay, you know, one planet of 100 around a star in 100 billion stars in 100 billion galaxies is habitable. It's fucking infinitesimally small, and people say the universe has been made for us. No, it hasn't. Almost everywhere in the universe will kill an unprotected human being. So please don't think the universe is going to be anything but fucking unfair. It'll steamroller you as soon as piss on you. It doesn't care about you. It's oblivious. It's irrelevant. We're irrelevant. It's not. It's very relevant. It kills you in the end.
Yeah. And those people that believe, you know, there's a rhyme and reason to life, and they try to interpret it. And some people claim to have even cracked it because they can feel the energy and this bollocks, all good things are coming.
Well, people say this, oh, everything happens for a reason. Well, yeah, it's true. There is causality behind everything. Of course there is. But they mean there's some master plan.
They're correct on a technicality.
Yeah, but they're talking about a master plan with some fucking being. Often the reason things happen is people are fucking stupid. You know, that's what families. Man walks around saying, "Oh, I'm not bothered about COVID," ends up infecting himself, his wife, and kids and grandparents, and they all fucking die. That happened for a reason. The reason being he was fucking stupid, basically. So yeah, things happen for a reason, but not in the way people say it. They like to think it does. It doesn't happen because there's some fucking plan behind it all. The universe, funnily enough, appears as if it was just fucking random. You know, I mean, there is order to it, but things are pretty much random. You know, they are not they are not in any way set up for us. There is no big fucking sky daddy up there looking out for us.
Really?
Right. So
I thought there was one
find that quite
told,
empowering. I mean, some people say that, you know, oh, if you break it all down to mathematics and physics, there's no magic to it. I fucking disagree entirely. Mathematics is fucking fantastically interesting. What's less majestic than saying, I don't understand that marvelous thing, God did it? That's not a fucking answer. That answer's fucking, that's what they do, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a thing called the God of the gaps. You know, we didn't understand the world as a whole. And then we did understand it. We could break it down into maybe two different things we understood. Well, the God then is in the gap between them. Well, we don't understand how these two things are related, so that's where God is. So then we break it down into four things so we understand more. So there are more gaps. Oh, God's in those gaps there. Anything people don't understand, they'll say, oh, that's God. And of course, the more we do understand, we actually create more things we don't understand, which is paradoxical enough, but it's true. So God disappears down this fucking hole of lack of understanding. And where he can hide, he's getting smaller and smaller, thinner and thinner gaps. But they're there, and there are more of them. It's fucking ridiculous. Religious people are fucking thick. They're really stupid. I've run out of drink now. Tell you what, I fucking love filling this with neat vodka and chugging it down in the gym.
You don't do that.
Do?
No, you don't.
Can you imagine that? Doing a fucking 160 kilograms of squats after what? 3/4 of a litre of vodka. Even I would drink vodka.
The thing is, you will continue to and have done stranger things. So I'd never put it past you. I would never put that past you. I've told you the story of vodka at the first ever festival I went to, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Yes.
I'm gonna have to tell a short version of the story now, but basically I was fucking 16, I think, first ever festival, hungover as fuck, big night the night before, going crazy as you do as a 16-year-old at a festival that's been able to sneak a fuckload of alcohol in. Plus, one of our friends actually was able to get an ID and was able to bring in like another fucking 60 something odd beers as well. So yeah, hungover as fuck. I've woken up and I'm like, where am I? And my head's outside the tent and my whole body's in the tent. It's so hot, and I'm dying. And yeah, everyone can guess what happens next. Oh, please, someone throw me a bottle of water. Bottle of water hits me in the head whilst I'm dying on the floor. All they can see is my head out this tent. I glug.
Vodka, yeah.
Neat vodka. Not just neat vodka. Vodka that has been outside their tents, yeah, in fucking 30-degree heat. So it's warm vodka. Warm fucking vodka when I'm hungover, dying. Oh.
Yeah, but to be fair, I bet 10 minutes later you felt great. Because there's nothing.
Throw it all back up.
Oh shit, that's a shame. Because there's nothing better than when you got a really fucking bad hangover than knocking back some vodka. Because you feel great very quickly. You know that the next morning you're just putting it off. You know, you've got to pay the piper at some point.
That's what festivals are. It's just a continuous hair of the dog.
I was going to festivals when I was 16, 40 years ago, when Reading Rock Festival was a proper festival. You know.
I never said you didn't.
When you got fucking searched for drugs on entry almost by the police. They didn't find any because they hadn't got any at the time. That came later. But I must have told you about my mate Toby. Oh, he's a friend of a friend. I haven't known him for years. But
which
one? I know this guy Toby. He was all right for a ginger, you know. But he was he was fucking built. He was a handsome young lad, nice guy. And he's probably, I don't know, at the time I was in my 30s. I reckon he's in his early 40s now, probably.
Mm-hmm.
So, but go back in the day, he was fucking buff. He looked like one of these fucking gay models, you know. He looked fucking great. Fast forward to now, and last I heard, I'm not making this up, right? He's on 3 bottles of vodka a day.
Jesus Christ.
He opens his first one at 6:30 when he wakes up, and it's gone by 9, and then he has 2 more a day. And I've seen a photograph. He's fucked his nervous system. He's been in hospital. He's been fucking falling down. He's all smashed up where his face has hit things because he's just fucked himself. And he looks, I mean, I'm 56, all right? A few lines, not brilliant light, but I don't really look too bad. He looks about 70, and he looks like a bad 70. Fucking shit.
3 bottle of vodkas. What size vodka bottles?
I'm not the litres. I'm guessing it's the 70 centilitre ones. That's all. I did think about it. I think my mate Steve, who is really his mate, he reckons a little while ago he cut down on his vodka and he switched to wine instead. He was having 7 bottles of wine a day.
What?
No. 7 bottles of wine. Now I can fucking take my drink. Mm-hmm. I can knock it back. I could drink a bottle of vodka in a night. I'd be very drunk, but I wouldn't be paralytic, and I'd wake up the next morning still functioning. You know, that's a lot of drink for someone of my size. Yeah. To have 3 over a day, that would probably kill me, literally.
Some people don't drink that much water.
Hey?
Some people don't even drink that much water in a day.
No, I don't think I do, to be honest. I mean, I probably get through a couple of these, so that's 1.5 litres, a few cups of tea, but fucking hell, man. I mean, that is... And he was doing this day in, day out. He's been into rehab several times. Last time he went into rehab, 15K, right? So it's 30 days, 15K. comes out and celebrates with a bottle of vodka. Honestly. Yeah, I'm not making this fucker up. I'm not making it up.
Oh God.
It gets fucking worse. He apparently went out and I'm like, oh fuck it, it's our podcast, so we like. He went out, right? And he traded a bottle of vodka for sex with a homeless woman. I know. I mean, I was saying,
they do it?
Yeah. He fucked a homeless woman in exchange for vodka, a bottle of vodka.
On the street, or?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps she's got a fucking tent or a cardboard box. So I didn't know the details. Don't want to know the details because that leads you down the path of thinking. Well, that leads you down the path of thinking. Did he go down on her?
Oh,
I mean, you imagine it going down on a fucking homeless woman.
Oh, mate, this is horrible. But if you're a fucking homeless person, I'm double bagging and nothing but doggy.
Fucking hell. Oh no, because doggy. Imagine the smell wafting up.
There's no win here. There is literally no way to win.
No, the way you win is you don't do it. You stay in and drink the vodka yourself. That's how you win. So, life.
Sorry, my camera's turned off.
Should we get back to the topic about life being unfair?
Tell people why they should be happy that life is unfair.
Oh, yeah, life is... You should be unhappy because otherwise there's no fucking point in making the effort. A good example is we were talking about this, Jimmy, the other day. I've quickly get it up, actually, says he, thinking of homeless people. There was I want to make sure I got the right, get my facts right before we start laughing about this twat. Where is it? So here we go. CEO secrets. This is on the BBC website. The guy's named, so his company, I'm not going to, it's Calvin Benton, psychotherapy company called Spill. And it's like a case study, I suppose. And people can read it if they want. Just go to the BBC website. We could drop the link somewhere, or they can just Google fucking CEO secrets or something. But basically, this guy started a psychotherapy company and they decided to pay everyone the same amount, no matter what job they did. They paid everyone from the CEO on down to the fucking janitor, I suppose, the same amount, 36k, thinking this is fair. And of course, it all fell apart because people who have more ability, more merit, or of more value to the company should be paid more. They just should. Now, let's be clear about this. We're talking about their value to the company, not their value as human beings. So the guy, say, who is making sales and maybe he's bringing in to the company 100k a month, a year, is worth more to the company than the cleaner, because that's more of a skilled job as well. So while it's not true to say the cleaner's job is less important, because it's not, because if you don't have cleaners, you can't have a business. You're not allowed to. The law will stop you because it's all part of health and safety. So the cleaner's job is important, of course it is. But the simple fact is, regardless of your opinions or emotions about this, the simple fact is anyone can do the cleaning job. Not anyone can do the sales job, but they can learn to do the sales job, can't they? So you can and should fucking be rewarded for the results of your efforts. That's fair. What's not fair, I mean, what we're talking about here is like is equality of opportunity, equity almost. What we're not talking about, and what is fundamentally fucking wrong, and we'll see why it's unworkable in a minute, what's fundamentally wrong is saying everyone should have equality of result just because it's fair. It's not. It is not fair that someone puts in a lot of time, effort, and work into achieving a result and gets rewarded the same as someone who just goes home at 5 o'clock and does nothing more than push a broom around. That's just true. That's not fair. And it cannot work because of what I've talked about before. We had a quick conversation before this podcast, because businesses, economies, societies, they're all complex adaptive systems, and that the order comes from the behavior of individual units. And what they try to do, and this is actually, this is also relevant to GameStop, which is hilarious. What people try to do is they try to enforce order on these systems from the top down, and it never works. It seems to work, but what actually happens is the systems become more erratic and more unstable, which I know seems contradictory, but it's not. complex adaptive systems get their structure and their order from their freedom. When you start constraining them, these systems become extremely vulnerable. That's why socialism can never work and never has done and never will. It cannot work. And the stricter they get with the socialism or the communism, looking at you, North Korea, the more fragile the system becomes until eventually it either has to be propped up from the outside or it falls apart. There's not a single socialist country in the world that can subsist or exist rather without outside influence being propped up. North Korea's communist, but it amounts to the same kind of thing. The Soviet Union fell apart. Cuba was supported from the outside. Even countries like Norway, which are heavily socialist, they're supported from the outside by oil. They've got a constant stream of external revenue coming in. You know, another thing, this is why capitalism is really the best way we know so far to ensure stability and what's the word? Not wealth. Begins with a P. Not profits, prosperity.
There we go. Because
we have trade. And what happens is when trade doesn't cross borders, as it often doesn't in these countries when they're locked down and they're heavily regulated, armies do. When trade doesn't cross borders, armies do. This is why North Korea is rattling fucking sabers now. This is why China and India dropped their fundamentally communist stroke socialist models and became much more capitalist because they were falling apart. It's just fucking nonsense. And so unfairness, you want to be fucking glad of it because unfairness brings stability. You know, what people call unfairness, I actually think it's fair you get rewarded on merit. That's fair.
Of course it is.
So it's fair that some people have more than others. That's always going to be the case. That is fair. Okay. Now, maybe there is an element of unfairness, which is really sucks. Like, you know, kids struck down with cancer. That's fucking unfair. And we know it's unfair. But hey, like we said at the beginning, the universe doesn't give a shit about you. The universe is decreed in its random way that kid's going to get cancer, and it fucking sucks, but there's bugger all we can do about it. So fundamentally, unfairness is to our benefit. Over time and over a large number of people, unfairness gives stability, and unfairness gives us the motivation to do better and improve ourselves. If there's no reward for improving, why the fuck would you bother? You know, remember when you perhaps don't remember this, when France said they were going to tax anyone making more than €1 million or who had more than €1 million, they were going to tax the fucking knickers off them. So what happened? All the rich people started leaving France. That's what happens. Then you've got a country of poor people. It's fucking crazy. I think, again, we had this conversation. I'm seriously thinking about taking up a PhD in maths on complex systems because it's fascinating stuff to me. And it will actually feed directly into our work. Certainly the more personal development and the philosophy type side of things, if not the actual business, hands, you know, grassroots stuff.
Yeah, you should fucking do it, mate. I'm looking for hobbies at the moment. I spend too much time playing Xbox in the evening and it's very unfulfilling.
You're fucking joking. You do an Xbox shit? You do Xbox shit there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I like playing my Xbox.
I've never played an Xbox or a PS2 or anything. It was PS4. Was there a PS3?
Yeah. Now there's a PS4 and 5.
The closest I ever came to it was when I was around Hobbies one night, and a bloke then, Ryan, had some mates around who were playing it, and they were doing some fucking some shooting game, and they were fighting others online and shit. And I thought, it all looks very interesting, but what a waste of your fucking life.
It's an escape, and I'm heavily competitive. So anything that involves competition, I get addicted to it. And I'm not addicted to Xbox, but if there's spare time and I don't want to work anymore, that's what I'm filling my time with at the moment. So at the moment, I'm on the search for a new hobby.
Reading books. I read an awful lot. I mean, in the evenings, I tend to read. This is my embarrassing confession. Fucking believe it or not, and take for it what you will. Fucking big finger if you're not looking. I read a lot of trashy fucking zombie novels.
I feel like you said this last episode.
Yeah, a fucking deja vu. It's the universe sending you a message, mate. You know what really pisses me off about
This is
zombie
deja
novels?
vu.
And I mean it, and I'm going to write my own, which actually don't suffer from this flaw. Zombie novels break the second law of thermodynamics.
What's that?
Well, you have dead people come into life and they have no metabolism. That cannot be. Unless you're going to invoke some kind of supernatural forces, you cannot have dead bodies being animated. So I thought of a way around it to make these novels much more realistic. And I'm going to write my own.
But is this something that you want to share, or is this
No,
like
I'm
a
not
trade
sharing
secret?
it. No, I'm not sharing it now because some cunt will nick it. It is
You
that
share
good
it to
enough
me in private?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course I will.
All right, awesome. Well, when that goes on sale, John, we'll be sure to promote it.
I can just fucking imagine you nicking my idea and writing books.
Can you imagine me writing a fucking book, mate? I'm still
No,
waiting on you to
no,
write our fucking book. Yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't written a fucking word for that. I'm not writing no book, mate. No book. I might write some memoirs when I'm older.
Because you write a journal as well, don't you, every day?
Yeah, journaling, yeah.
How many words do you write? Pages and stuff?
Some days it's like 3 sentences. I think the longest I've done is 3 pages of, I believe it's A5.
All right. You handwrite it, do you, in the book?
Yeah, I handwrite it. Yeah, I tried typing it. It just didn't feel as, I don't know. It didn't feel like I was doing it justice.
And I've been writing a journal since January, new year, new me and all that. I just can't get into it. It doesn't mean anything to me. And handwriting is not going to happen. Handwriting is not going to happen for lots of reasons. But I type it. I use day one, the software that goes across all the platforms and shit. I just can't get into it. And this has bugged me. I talked about this with Vicky LaBouche, my coach, and indeed Karine, my psychologist. Excuse me. The habit of gratitude. I can't get into it. And the reason I can't get into it is, this is my personal view. I think people who've gone about feeling gratitude feel miserable about some things, so they're looking for something to be happy about. I don't go for gratitude because I don't feel I need to be grateful for something, because I don't feel the need to be grateful because I'm not miserable about anything. Does that make sense? It's not a question.
Yes,
I mean, to me, grateful people are saying, "Oh, this is really shit," but I'm really grateful for having legs and somewhere to live. Well, I don't feel pissed off about anything to say, well, at least I've got a house and a roof over my head. I'm kind of existentially grateful because I realise it could be worse, but I don't feel any great need to write about it. I don't know. I just don't.
That's not how I journal at all. I've tried several different ways of journaling that I've read online, but the only one thing that sticks with me is almost treating it more as a diary and treating it as a conversation with myself. So today this is where I felt. Today this happened. This is how I felt about it at the time. Yada yada yada. Objectively thinking, here's my evaluation of it. And whilst I'm writing, I'm usually coming up with several solutions. I then go on to write about those solutions, potential outcomes for those solutions, which one I prefer. So I almost use it as a problem solving. Okay. When it comes to gratitude, I don't do the gratitude thing unless there's a specific reason. So for example, if Holly does some really good work, I'll write in there, it's not even really, yeah, sometimes, mate, it's rare. But it's not, for me, I suppose it's a gratitude, but in my mind, it's not a gratitude. I'm just recognizing something good. That's something good and unusual that's happened that day. The unusual part's tongue in cheek, Collie.
Because as part of my Stoic studies, I'm going through these 2 companion books: the Daily Stoic 360 Meditations and the Daily Stoic Journal. And this gives like a headline Daily Stoic Challenge, and this gives a short passage which gives you a topic to think about, which kind of ties into this one. That's not too bad, but just thinking about what you're describing, like problem solving, I actually use my daily walk and my cycling for that. And I'm not writing it down, it's just in my head. And I will often come back and then you and I will have a conversation. And we'll talk about, I'll say, kind of been thinking about solution to this particular problem. But I know some people, I mean, Sarah writes, Mrs. EBG, she probably writes 3 or 4 pages every morning. She calls them her morning pages. And I'm thinking, what the fuck are you writing about? what the fuck have you got to write about so much? I mean, I just don't get it. And I think some of it for me as well is my alexithymia. I mean, for those who are listening, being autistic, I also have something called alexithymia, which means it literally means no words for emotions. I don't feel emotions in the same way that a neurotypical person does, or anyone who's not alexithymic. So I could actually probably say with a lot of truth, I don't know what gratitude feels like even. I don't recognize most of the emotions you people feel. I've got zero empathy, for instance. I've got compassion, but zero empathy. And so it's fucking strange. But yeah, journaling is just a bit of a, if you forgive the pun, a bit of a closed book, really. I shall persevere because I said I would, but I'm not getting anything from it at the minute.
I think you need to change your approach to it. I just wake up, whatever's on the mind, whatever I'm thinking about, and it's just like having a little conversation with myself. I then, get the coffee, go for a walk, and let the ideas flow. And then often the next day, I write down, reflect on the ideas that came up from the day before. Because anything, like you said, any ideas that come up on the walk, we immediately discuss fucking anyway. And then the next day, it's like, well, yesterday worked through this, excited about this. However, today, this is what's on my mind, yada, yada, yada. It's just a conversation with myself to almost start the problem solving. I track various things every now and again. So when I noticed my water intake, I wasn't drinking enough water or as much water as I used to. I just started tracking my daily water intake in there every day, just at the end. Drunk this much water. I've done it with how many hours I've spent on the Xbox for a particularly boring period over the lockdown. I've spent, I was like, wait, hang on a minute. The minute you finish work, you're just spending your whole evening on the Xbox. That's fucking terrible. So I started tracking how many hours I was spending on this bad habit.
Because the problem for me, if I was to write about what I woke up thinking about, I'd be writing about my dick all the time.
Nothing wrong with that. Erotic novel.
What do you think about it? I mean, people mistakenly think I'm quite deep, and I'm really not. I'm dead fucking shallow. I'm like every other bloke in Christendom, I think. I wake up in the morning, and the first thing that occurs to me is, I've got a fucking hard on again. Now, you multiply that by 365.
When does that stop? When does that
45 years. I've got no idea. I'll let you know. Well, put it this way. If you're a sensitive listener, you might want to close your ears to this. When we cleared my dad's house out after he died, and he was 92 or 93 when he died, we were clearing up crusty tissues off his floor. So dad was in his 90s and still wanking. So maybe that's some kind of fucking benchmark for you.
Maybe. What you should have done is taken those tissues down to a fertility clinic, bought some eggs, and made him have another little nipper.
Oh yeah, what could possibly go fucking wrong with that?
Give yourself a fine little half, brother.
To answer your question, I don't know. I still wake up every fucking morning with a boner. And I don't see it stop. I fucking sincerely hope it doesn't stop any day soon. I'm kind of hoping, to be honest, that by the time my physical body can no longer this way, my mind has changed because of my age, and I don't actually want it to. I can't think of anything worse than being fucking horny in your head and incapable of performing over a long period of time. We're not talking about fucking Brewers drink or anything here. We're talking about a long decline to your fucking death without another hard on again. That would be fucking tragic, man. How did we get into this fucking conversation?
We've ended up in the dick sand.
We start talking about fucking journaling, and we end up talking about fucking hard-ons and old men's crusty tissues.
Yeah, I have no idea how we got here. Yet another tangent of life.
Life is one big tangent. Was it John Lennon who said, life is what happens while you're pursuing your plans or something? So anyway, to get back on track, we should be happy life is unfair, because if it wasn't, it would be fucking chaotic, because someone's become unstable if they're not allowed to perform as they will. And we will be forever stifled in our creativity and everything else, because there's no point in achieving something if it's taken away from you, given to someone who can't do as well. I guess it sucks. If you're born unintelligent, I think here's a classic example of my own life. I could make an argument for saying it's really unfair there are people out there like Paul Erdős, Andrew Wiles, Isaac Newton, he's dead, obviously, and other great mathematicians who just understand this stuff. And I'm fascinated in it, and I struggle with it. It's really hard for me. It's unfair that they find it easy and I find it hard. That's unfair. But what is to be done about it? Nothing. It's just the way of the world. So they become mathematics professors and I don't. Well, that's it. That's just, you know, that's it in a nutshell, really.
So how do you deal with unfairness?
Same way as we deal with everything, mate. Focus on what we control and let the rest go. No, as I said,
that is all you can ever do.
Yeah, well, that's it. In a previous conversation, is, you know, if you want more, become more. Increase your value. People say about, I mean, I'm dead against minimum wage, for instance. Yeah. And here's the reason: government has no business getting involved in private contracts, and that's what an employment contract is: contract between an employer and an employee. You start off at the bottom of the rung. If you don't, bottom rung of the ladder, if you don't like the job or it doesn't pay as much, go and get another job. Or
I actually think it harms a lot of people as well.
Again? Oh, of course it does.
It harms a lot of people.
But it does, because what
people don't realise this.
People insist on minimum wage. Well, that then increases a firm's cost base. They have two choices then. They either put their prices up. I mean, they could choose to make less profit, but assuming they don't, they either put their prices up, or it drives technology to replace the people they don't have to pay. So then you get supermarkets put self-service tills in, for instance, and then people are pissing and moaning about that. Well, what did you expect? When you make it untenable to employ the right number of people that you need because of the costs, then of course people are going to find a way. Another classic example of a complex system. They adapt.
Also, almost arguing the same point, but in a different way. These minimum wage workers that are, you know, calling for minimum wage to be increased, they don't realise in the first place that there's a good opportunity that some of these jobs that are now paying minimum wage would have paid more than minimum wage. It's just that now they've been set a benchmark that by the government that they can now sit upon. In a similar way, how universities all just up their prices immediately when they put a 9K cap on it. They all went from £3,000 a term to £9,000 a term because they were like, well, you set the benchmarks. Yeah, I've been guilty of it before, to be perfectly honest. You know, contractors or friends that, you know, want to do some work for us, or I need them to do some work. Oh, how much are you willing to pay? Minimum wage. Probably it's just an easy cop out for me, where, you know, if there wasn't that minimum wage sentence I could fall back on, I'd go, I don't know, £10 an hour, 15.
The thing is, to me, the whole philosophy of it is wrong, because people say they deserve to make a living. No, they don't. No. They deserve to earn a living, the opportunity to earn a living, earn being the operative word. No company, no business should be forced to pay a worker more than that worker brings in value to the company.
Yeah.
So if your job is so shit, it's only worth £5 an hour, then that's what you should be paid. Mm-hmm. It's antithetical to everything, to fairness itself, to expect a company to pay more than £5 an hour to a job that brings only £5 an hour in value to the business. More to the point, there are some people out there, you take someone who's profoundly disabled who wants to work, but their work really is not worth £10 an hour because maybe they're fucking quadriplegic or they've got one arm. So their shelf-stacking ability is quarter of the speed of a fully able-bodied person. Okay? Yeah, that sucks. Why should a company pay that person a full wage when they can't perform? That's just charity. But if they could earn, say, arbitrarily £5 an hour because that's what they're worth, then that person is in the marketplace doing productive work, self-esteem and all the rest of it. It is fundamentally flawed, the idea of the minimum wage.
What we could do, that person with one limb, is strap a skateboard to their belly and just have them sorting out all of the bottom shelves at the supermarket, just whizzing around. Zoom, 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 zoom.
You know, it's wrong. That is unfair, forcing companies to pay up, because, you know, we're not. People will say, look at Amazon, but we're not talking about Amazon. We're talking about every fucking shop out there, every little business out there wants to employ someone, can't afford it, can't grow because they can't afford the labour. And it's stymied by these fucking bureaucrats and these people who talk about being fair, insisting they pay someone more than a job is worth. Well, that's freaking ridiculous. You don't go to the fucking supermarket and pay, well, that potato is 50p. I'm going to pay 60 for it because that's fair. How many fucking socialist cunts do that, do you reckon? Pay more than something is asked for because that's fair. None of them. And I fucking asked them. Socialist fucking scum. Hate them. Fucking with a passion.
Talking of Amazon, Amazon actually run at a loss, don't they, on their shopping side of things?
So I've been told. So I understand, and they cross-subsidize their shopping with the vast amounts of money they make for their technical infrastructure. I mean, you know, we see a lot of these big companies like, well, for instance, Google G Suite, for instance, G Suite and Dropbox, they run on the same AWS infrastructure. Those systems are massively complex. I mean, they are just mind-boggling. I've read papers on how they handle it. It's just, I mean, I was a programmer and I barely understand any of what these people are talking about because I've never dealt with that kind of scale of enterprise. Amazon makes their money from those kinds of systems, cloud systems, vastly complicated, vastly involved, vastly expensive. And they apparently cross-subsidize their retail side from the technical side. That's what I've been told. Whether it's true or not, I don't know, but it does make a kind of sense. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, people would be surprised how many things are built upon the Amazon infrastructure.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, probably most of them. I don't know how many firms will have their own fully. I mean, we again, you might not even realize this, but we've got an AWS account. We use it. You don't know that. But a lot of people, they have these CDNs and these fucking cloud systems. They're all based on fucking Amazon.
Yeah, Cloudflare and shit.
Yeah, there's I mean, some have their own, but and I think Azure have their own. But I mean, Amazon, a lot of these big websites are on Amazon, AWS, either directly to Amazon or indirectly through, say, Google or Dropbox. Microsoft will have their own, probably not.
Anywho, that's a rather boring conversation.
Yeah, focus. I think it's fascinating, but you know, focus on what you can control, and that is improving yourself and making yourself more valuable. You want more money, yeah? Be more valuable. Fuck what everyone else is doing, what they think. Be more valuable to yourself, more valuable to your clients, more valuable to your employer. And of course, the attitude of, I'm only being paid £10 an hour, so I'm not going to do this job. It's not my job to do. Well, don't expect to be able to be paid more than £10 an hour. Do more than you're paid for, and someone will notice. And if they don't, go to a firm where you will be noticed. Or start your own business. How many times have I said to people who pissing about job and employer, well, start your own business then, nothing's stopping you doing it. I don't want to. Well, that's a fucking choice you've made, dickhead. You've been treated like shit, but you're accepting it because you won't start your own business. Don't know how to. Well, learn, don't want to. I'd rather sit at home playing with fucking Xbox or something, you know? Or going down the pub with my mates.
You're describing me there.
There was a woman made redundant or whatever. And she bought a mop and a bucket and she went around knocking on doors, offering to clean people's fucking houses. Several years later, she sold her business for many multiples of millions of pounds. Anyone could do that. But you tell them to do it, oh no. You know why? It's fucking hard work. They don't want hard work. They want the entitlement of the minimum wage and being paid more than they're worth because they're fucking lazy and stupid. Because otherwise it's not fair. It's not fair you have to work hard for your money. It's not fair I have to become more valuable. It's not fair these people make a lot of money having put years and years into their fucking areas of work and their expertise. It's not fair, not fair, not fair. Fuck your fairness. Roll it up, stick it at your arsehole, knock it in with a mallet and fucking die.
I think that's pretty good, mate. I fucking hate it when people in front of me start slagging off business owners and whatnot and rich people, and I inevitably defend them, and you know, and then they inevitably say, I don't know why you're sticking up for them. You're never going to be the next Elon Musk or Steve Jobs. I don't fucking want to be. You're just being a sour little cunt. You're just being a sour little cunt because you want things handed to you. These people have worked for this shit. Yeah, you don't realise you work with all due. I always say, with all due respect, you work your 9 to 5. You have very minimal risk in your job. You can get away with slacking, and other people will pick that up for you. These business owners that start from nil point, they have worked far harder and risked far more than you.
You just check that on the head
to judge them.
People who talk about profit share as they should be entitled to it. I'd be up for that on condition they will also share losses. So when the business goes tits up or is in debt, you have to start paying into the business yourself. You know? Oh, let me guess, that wouldn't be fair. Stupid fucking grasping greedy cunts.
Yeah, and when people moan about their Christmas bonuses, I see that all the time online. I work for this company, I did this work, and they're worth X amount, and I only got a £500 Christmas bonus. Fuck off. Fuck off. Was a Christmas bonus in your contract?
No, it's a bonus. That's what it's called. That's what it is.
You fucking entitled little shit.
And they say things like, oh, I devoted 10 years of my life to that company. No, you didn't. You were paid to a job for 10 years of your fucking life. You offered value. You were paid value in return. It was a contractual fucking agreement.
And here's another thing I fucking hate with this whole thing. And this is almost from the company side of it. When companies try and say, oh, we're like a family. Fuck off. No, you're not. No, you're not. I tell you what, if you're a business owner listening to this and you say we're like a little family, fuck off. You're not.
We are, though. We are.
You two are a literal family. Do you know what I said the first time Holly was fucking confident enough to actually fucking get on a Zoom call with me?
What?
I said, just a heads up, this company is not and will never be anything like a family. Yeah. You work for John. Yeah. Under my direction. I said it in a nicer way, not quite as blunt and horrible, but it was a case of this is not one big family. Yeah. We might get along well, but that doesn't mean, that you should. And I said to her, I don't ever want you working more hours because John's your dad or because you enjoy working with us. And on the other side, I don't really want you working less hours than I pay you for because this isn't a family. If you're happy with your money, you work your fucking hours.
Yeah. Well, I deliberately, again, this is more for the listener than for you. I deliberately stayed out of the hiring process because she is my daughter. I didn't want to. We didn't hire her because she's my daughter. We hired her because
she was on merit.
She wanted a job and she was on merit. So I stay out of all the disciplinary stuff and all that side of things. In that side of things, I'm not my dad. I just don't get involved.
And to be honest, Holly will probably listen to this and laugh at us and go, "You two pair of soft fucking touches."
I know we are a bit soft. We're a bit soft on her, aren't we?
But the thing is, I'd be soft on any of our staff. You know, Marvin, you've got a couple of things up late. I'm not that fucking bothered.
I'm Marvin.
Solutions of how it won't happen again.
Yeah, fucking Marvin, you're a son of mine, mate. Literally.
You know, accountants can sometimes be late with things. People fuck up all the time. You just got to be nice to people. But at no point will I ever say that this company is like a fucking family. It's not. It's a machine. Anyway, I feel like we've had like a 10-minute hate there, and we should wrap this up with the actual 1 minute hate.
Actual minute hate. There's only one thing I want to talk about today. Fucking socialists.
Socialists.
Socialists. Collectivism as an umbrella term. Socialism, communism, whatever you like to fucking call it. This idea that just fucking set me off, wind me up, set me on my fucking way.
All right, are you ready?
1,
3, 2, 1. Boop.
Right, socialists, they're the lowest fucking form of life on this or any other planet. And here's why I say that. The first thing is they deny the factual evidence of actual mathematics and science. Okay, complex systems like economies and societies are complex adaptive systems. They run on mathematical lines. You cannot impose order from the top down, but that's what socialists want to do. And never mind the fact there's not been a single successful standalone socialist country in the world ever, they still fucking think, oh, this time it'll be different. Because last time it wasn't real socialism. Yes, it was, and it comprehensively fucking failed and people starved. Venezuela Venezuela was one of the richest fucking countries countries in South America until recently, when it went socialist. And now they're eating cows. There's a video of a bunch of fucking Venezuelans beating a cow to death with ropes because they were hungry. That's what socialism does. You know, dark humor is like food in a socialist country. Not everybody gets it.
Stop.
I stopped.
Perfectly timed. Perfectly timed.
That's what my wife says all the time. Told you, my wife called me a fucking ninja. She says you're in and out. I don't even notice.
Well, that's to do with your slight size.
It's my little cock that doesn't get hard anymore because of my age.
Well, if your cock's anything like your legs, poor fucking Mrs. EVG. Pencil dick over here.
There's nothing fucking wrong with my legs. Or my cock comes to that.
Your little chicken legs.
Fuck off.
Spindly.
Fucking hell, at least I've got fucking legs, not like you. You got these fucking broken twiglet things hanging off your pelvis.
Shit, that was loud.
They are exactly what I just said. They're broken twiglet things hanging off your pelvis.
My legs.
In fact, you don't have legs. It's only what you
wrap my hands round them.
Your legs aren't even the same fucking size.
Well, they're same.
They're not even yours. When they're not even yours, I'll tell you what happened. You know, when God was giving out fucking legs in your line, you went off for a piss. You went off to play your Xbox. Got to the front of the line late, and he said, "Sorry, mate. All we got is this fucking mismatched crappy pair. Do you want those?" I suppose so.
Should have stopped playing FIFA, shouldn't I?
You fucking should. Hello, right, Mr. Benham. Your legs are ready. Oh, so he's fucked up on his Xbox. I'll take those. Oh, sorry, Mr. Benham. I already got this mismatched fucking pair. Jimmy the orphan got yours.
Well, the orphan deserved it, bless her.
I'm an orphan. I am literally an orphan. Oh, my parents are dead.
Oh, yeah.
No fucker looks after. Oh, is that fair? I'm an orphan and no one takes care of me. Is that fair? No.
You miserable old cunt. Shut up. Let's wrap this up. I said, let's wrap this up, John.
Oh, sorry. You want me to say something? Well, after
you always do the word.
Yeah, I know, mate, but I didn't hear you. After an hour of ranting from the two of us, and we digressed into fucking crusty old man's tissues, drunken people, 3 bottles of vodka, and socialists. All I would say is, if you want to make more money with less work and fewer headaches and less hassle, working with a better class of client, charging higher fees, and having it all happen, your pipeline filled behind the scenes and hands off, go to OTTcollective.co.uk and join our Facebook group, or go to growyourbusinessfast.co.uk/Sierra Quebec and take our sales certainty quiz, and that will show you where the leaky holes in your sales bucket are, and it'll also show you, after you got your answers, a deep analysis, what you can do about it. In the meantime, stay safe, stay inside, wash your hands. Please do not ask for fucking minimum wage unless you want a fucking finger down your throat, and don't shit on your fingers. See you later. Ta-ra.